What's up, guys? Got a new look today. I'm explaining the way that I have changed my macros around, and we're going to talk about basically a full day of eating and how the macros all turned out. So, anyways, let's jump in today's video, and a quick thank you to Equip for sponsoring this video. I have been using Equip products for almost a year now, and I love their protein shakes. I love the collagen, and it's nice, clean ingredients. So we'll get more into that towards the end of the video. Let's go back in time to Monday, and I'll meet you back here when it's time. What's up, guys? Do you see that up there? That's blue skies. And here we have the same path 4 days later with no snow. So we are currently out on our walk and enjoying our ability to have short sleeves on and enjoy this weather. So we will see you back when it's time for lunch. All right, so with my meals today, or I guess with my new plan or way of eating, I'm going to be making sure I hit my protein macros. You can obviously do that by increasing your protein in your meals, but sometimes it doesn't all work out that perfectly, and a protein shake is a great way to do that. I'm using the Equip protein powder. I've been using this for almost a year now. I love this one. Clean ingredients, grass-fed, the whole 9 yards. So, and I like the taste. So obviously if you want to try this, use my link down below. But I'm going to be doing 12 ounces of unsweetened almond milk. Make sure it says unsweetened. You don't want to get caught with the full sugared version. It's a big difference in your macros. So I'm going to do 12 ounces of almond milk and a scoop of the protein powder. And there's a quick little peek at it. Packed it in there. And then I'm just going to put the lid on and shake it. And there you have it. This one does have little clumps in it. You can throw it in a blender, but it doesn't bother me. When you don't put all the crap into the ingredients, you're going to have some clumping, and that's normal. So I also sometimes will put like cinnamon in here and maybe some PB2 powder, like that peanut butter powder, just to change the flavor. So anyways, I'm going to, before I make a mess, I'm going to enjoy this, and we'll go on to dinner. And here we have first meal of the day. 5 ounces of turkey, 3 eggs, and a slice of American cheese. So dinner tonight was a salad. I'll explain when we do our macros, but I had my salad how I enjoy it and loved it. Okay, so the macros for today. I'm not really digging this new carb manager look, but we're working with it. So my macros for the day. My lunch, I had 5 ounces of turkey with a slice of cheese. And instead of cooking my eggs in butter, I just left the butter off and had plain eggs. And it tasted just fine. And then I also had 1 serving of my Equip protein shake with almond milk with my lunch. So moving on to dinner, I went out to Salata for dinner, and I made my salad the way I had it shown. So using their nutrition builder, you could, determine an estimate, if you will, what the macros and all of that is. So I just did 1 salad entry of how I had my salad. I did have black beans on my salad, which I normally don't do, so I enjoyed that. And it ended up being 16 net carbs, 54 grams of protein, and 42 grams of fat in my salad. And I had like a jalapeno avocado dressing. And then again, when I came home, I had another protein shake just to make sure I'm hitting my protein macros. And in between all that, I did have my coffee. And instead of using heavy cream, I used half and half. It has lower fat. And I still put my unflavored perfect keto collagen in there. So for a grand total, I was 10 grams of protein under my goal. I'm pretty happy with that. Close enough. And then my fat, I was 9 grams slightly over. Again, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to stress the fat. But I'm learning, these new ways to hit the macros. So I'm cool with that. And I was 3 calories over of my calorie goal of 1,495. One thing I did not hit was my carb goal. I was 20 under. I'm not used to eating carbs, but I did enjoy a serving of black beans. I didn't stress having all the vegetables like broccoli, salad mix, like kale,
I didn't stress about all the carbs in that are coming from vegetables or whole one ingredient sourced food. So, and I've left today feeling pretty satisfied. So, anyways, that was the macros.
What's up, guys? New day. It's Tuesday, and I am getting my hair done today. So last week when I was stress eating, boredom eating, and trying to overcome those challenges, I referred to my toolbox, and one of the cards that I picked was a self-pampering day. So to snap myself out of it, to give myself a fresh look, I went ahead and booked a hair appointment. So today we're going to use a professional and have the balayage done to my hair. Now, a year ago, I had a makeover done by Blonde Faith Salon, and I didn't get to enjoy that the whole time because the pandemic started. So I got my hair done, and then salons were closed, so there was no touch up, and so I went brown, and so it's been like a year since I've had anything done to my hair. So we're gonna have that today, and today's a self-pampering day. So anyways, I'm gonna go to my hair appointment and get my hair did, and I will see you later. Bye-bye. Let's get into a few more details of the new way I'm eating. So first things first, do you like my new shirt? I thought it was kind of funny. So if you are a recovering carbaholic, use the link down below and order yourself a t-shirt. It supports the things we do on this channel. So what did I do differently? So I've changed my macros around quite a bit, and I played with them, and then we had like a bad week last week, but I didn't track anything. I basically just like got through the week. So in the beginning of February, I changed up my macros after having some roadblocks. I feel like I've just not really had any progress in several months. A lot of that had to do with my own choices, with the holidays, overeating, overindulging, overdoing it. So yes, there was that part, but there was this, it just felt like I didn't get satisfaction of the way I was eating, which was causing me anxiety and fearing foods, and that relationship was starting to go in a way I didn't want. I want a healthy relationship with food. And that also means using your head and some common sense here. So I was demonizing vegetables. Like obviously you demonize the processed and sugary foods without question. But I was actually starting to resent tomatoes because they had too many carbs, and like these things like that, that were just kind of getting to me. And I just was like, you know what, I got to change things up. Single whole ingredient foods like a tomato is good for you. And I need to have that relationship back. Like I don't want to see a tomato and fear tomato. I want to look at a black bean and kind of be okay with having some occasional black beans. I want to eventually have some sweet potatoes back into my diet, but I don't want to demonize it because it's a sweet potato. It's like if I went and fried that sweet potato, well, now we have a problem. But a plain baked sweet potato, there's this layer of anxiety that I was having, and then letting that cloud my judgment. So being that I walk 5 miles at least a day, well, 3 to 5 miles a day. I enjoy that. That's what my husband and I go do. And I also go to the gym. So I'm trying to go there at least 3 times a week for strength training. So being that my activity level is high, my macros aren't really satisfying those new changes. So I gave it some thought. I chewed on this for like weeks. And then I finally said, you know what? This is my journey, and this is what I'm going to do. And I decided to increase my carbs, increase my protein, and decrease my fat. So I went into Carb Manager and I checked all the boxes and I messed around with it, and I switched it to 10% carbs from 5, obviously. So I'm now getting 37 grams of carbs a day. That's not something to have anxiety about. Like I was seriously like, oh my God, the heat that I'm going to get. Well, I forgot that this is my journey and this is what I'm going to try. And the journey is about learning all of this and what affects you. So the you do you mentality is I got to follow that advice too. So I increased my carbs to 37 grams a day. I increased my protein to 179 grams of protein a day, and I decreased my fat to 70 grams. Now, this is just something that I'm testing with. The first week that I did this, 2 weeks ago, 3 pounds came off. Like the scale, I changed things up enough to move things around. So what I say by eating more carbs and like, what does that all mean? That means when I want to have vegetables like salad mix, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, tomatoes, sweet potatoes, those things aren't going to be something I stress about. The carbs that come from that isn't going to stress me out anymore. And I'm not going to gain 130 pounds back by eating those types of foods. I'm also, because I've never been a prominent of hitting fat macros, I've always still stayed way under my fat macros because I was morbidly obese. Tweaking that a little bit, the fat lever, a little bit more down because I'm obviously smaller than I was at 309 pounds. So that's okay. I want my body to use my fat stores on board, my 24-hour fat buffet right here for my body. And then obviously because of the amount of physical activity I'm doing, I bumped my protein up because the protein is not a fuel source. Protein is to repair muscle damage and, from working out and all of that. So supporting all of the goals that I'm doing right now by feeling a little bit more satisfied eating the whole foods that I've wanted to eat. Also reducing some fat because I was overdoing it and it's so easy to overdo it. So bringing that down and then increasing protein to meet the demands of my physical activity. So what else does that mean? That also means that helps my relationship with food right now. Right now, it's getting to a place that I don't like and it's causing too much anxiety, which is starting the stress, and I have to find some way to gain that control back. So by not feeling so constricted, I guess is the word, it's helped so much. Like I don't look at a tomato, I'm like, oh, carbs, like it's a tomato. It's not, there's lots of amazing things in tomatoes, so like I have to get that fear back that just because the experts say this, that doesn't mean it's going to work for me. So I have to bring in a little bit of my own personal experience here, look at what's going on and draw from that and make a plan. So that also means because I love black beans, I love quinoa. So that means black beans are going to occasionally show up on my menu. And that is exciting because I love black beans. I love all things beans. And occasionally having them on my menu and having room for them in my macros is something that's going to make me happy and feel like I'm not missing out. Also, same thing, quinoa. I'm going to have some quinoa on my salads as a side dish. Measured, that doesn't mean I can have a mountain of quinoa, a mountain of beans. It's still going to be measured and it still has to fit in my macros. But that is going to be kind of the thing that I'm reaching for right now. What is not on the menu is obviously processed carbohydrates, packaged foods, sugar. That stuff is still strictly forbidden, and I've proven to myself time and time again, my body doesn't like eating that way. So basically the difference I'm going to do is adding a little bit more flexibility and less stress about the vegetable carbs that I'm consuming while staying in my macros and also having a little bit more protein. I hope that doesn't make too much confusion. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for it because, oh my God, 37 carbs in a day, it's like blasphemy. But the point is that's what's working for me right now. And as I was going to get into my maintenance mode, once I've hit my goal weight, I was planning on adding those foods back in anyways. However, what does definitely become something I have to do is I have to measure it, have to track it, because you could go down a slippery slope. So anyways, that is my plan right now. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I tested out, and I wanted to make a whole video on explaining it, because I know the first thing people are gonna see is, oh my God, but think about it here. My activity level has increased. I am feeling constricted, and there's nothing wrong with foods that come in nature's wrapper, which is like a whole single ingredient food, and we should stop demonizing the healthy parts of food. That also means that the standard American diet still does not apply here. It doesn't mean it's a free-for-all for sugar, processed foods, wheat, packaged foods, all that, where you have an ingredients list this long. That is still off the table. We're talking about adding a little bean, a little tomato, and not sweating about it. Like having a salad full of a ton of yummy vegetables. That's what I want, and I don't want the anxiety that came with it before. So we're going to try that. If it doesn't work, we switch things up again. But this journey is about learning what works for you, not adhering to somebody else's goals for you, or, like that whole thing. This is my journey, and this is what I'm doing. So, and if you're following or you're a true fan of mine, you understand the you do you mentality. You've got to do what works for you. That is the secret of making it a lifestyle that you can stick with. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want the shirt, if you want to try some Equip products, use the link down below, and I'll see you at the next one. And of course, comment below what's your thoughts. So, and if you've tried something like this before, and if it worked or did not work, I'd love to hear. So I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye.